us know about the scoping and hoisting. Okay, first, scoping is nothing but scope is a region of code where a certain variable can be accessed, right? So we have different types of scopes: block scope, local scope, global scope. And after these, I'll explain about the hoisting, right? So first, block scope is nothing but if a variable is defined using const or let, it applies to only two keywords, either const or let, within the curly brace within a particular block. If you declare any variable, then it is said to be defined in the block scope, right? So for all the blocks like if else or for off, like while, so you can declare in all those, you whenever you declare within the braces, right? So I'll explain with a small example. Age is 27. So here we can use a let and const keywords but not var keyword. So if age is greater than 18, so here you can declare inside the block, you can declare the variables, right? Console.log of x. Okay, so if you declare in the outside also, I mean if you call outside also, so let's see what will happen. So here you can see we have got the error. So what I want to tell is a in a block, only in a global scope. If you declare anywhere, you can use it anywhere. If you declare a variable called x, anywhere you can declare and anywhere you can access it. But that's not possible in local scope and block scope. So here we have used the block scope, right? For example, if age is greater than 18, here the actually age is greater than 18, obviously. Age is 27, right? So age is greater than 18, so let x is equals to 0 I have written, and console.log of x. Okay, so let me just skip it in the comments. Now let's run the code. So here you can see 0, and I'll change the variable name as 20, I mean value as 20. So here you can see 20 has executed. That means only the when you write the console inside the block, when you try to print the value only inside the block, that will get executed. But when you are trying to print it outside of that particular block, you are getting the output. So here you can see we got the output. X is not defined. That means it is a block scope. It's not a global scope. It is a block scope. So in a block, if you declare it, you can use it there only. You can't use it outside of that particular block. This is about the block scope. And now let us know about the local scope. You will get little confused of block scope and local scope, but let me clarify you. Let me clarify you. So local scope is a variable when you declare the inside the function, same as block scope. But there is a difference. This local scope is applied to var keyword, let keyword and const keyword. Three keywords. It is applicable to all the three keywords, right? And also local scope we can use only in the functions but not in the blocks. Block scope we can use it in the blocks. Local scope we can use it in the functions, right? So function test of, I've used the function called test, and here I'm going to define let x is equals to 10, and I want to print it, print the value of x. Okay, up to here is okay. Let us run the code. Sorry, I didn't call the function test of. Okay, so let's see, we have got 10. Okay, now I'll just try to access this outside of the function also. Here you can see we have got the output. So for both local scope and block scope, you can't print the value, or you can't access the particular value which you have declared in the function or in the block. You can use it on the in the block. I mean you can use the particular variable in the block or in the function. That's it. You can't use outside of it, right? So that is an example of local scope. For a block scope, the block scope is applicable to let and const keywords. Local scope is applicable to where keyword, let keyword, const keyword, all the three. And one more difference is block scope is applicable in the blocks only, right? For example, if else, while, um, even functions also within the block you can write it, and switch statement, for off loop, while loop, for in loop, for all those block scope is applicable. But for local scope, only functions, in only functions you can use the local scope. Okay, so these are the differences between the local scope and block scope. Next, final one is global scope. So if a variable is declared outside of all the functions and curly braces, then it is defined as global scope. So x is equals to 30 I have declared here. So I'm going to start the function. For example, foo is a function name, right? So if this particular x is greater than 18, I want to print it in the console, right? So here I am going to call the function foo. So I have declared 30 outside of the function, but I wanted to access inside of the function. Okay, I have declared I have declared outside variable. I have declared outside, but I wanted to access it in the inside. We get the output 30, right? So if x is greater than 30, yes, this condition is true. So we have to print the value of x. X value is 30. So we have got the output. So this is the difference between the local scope, block scope and global scope, right? So for global scope, we can access the outside variables also to inside. For local scope and block scope, you can't access the variables which you have declared outside. Inside the block, you can't access them, or inside the function, you can't access them, right? Next, hoisting. So hoisting means, already you have know about the hoisting. So hoisting means defining, I mean calling the function with, before you define the function. So before defining the function, if you call the function, then it is called hoisting, right? So we will look at through an example. So let x is equals to 10 I am taking, and let y is equals to 20 I'll be taking. Let result, here I'm going to call the function add of x comma y, right? So I'll just print the value also before defining only. I did not define any function here. I have just called the function. Before defining, if you call the function, if you are able to call the function, then it is called hoisting, right? So here I am going to define the function. The function name is add, and you can take the variables x comma y, or you can take the variables a comma b. Whatever you want to take, you can take. That doesn't uh, that is not wrong, because it was just a variable. You are not assigning any value to it, right? It was just defining the variable. And if you take a comma b here, in the return statement also you have to use that only, return a plus b. So here if you take x comma y, you can't use x comma y here, because in this particular function you have used a comma b, so you have to use a comma b only, right? A plus b. So let me just run the code. So here you can see 30. A is 10, y, I mean x is 10, y is 20. So 10 plus 20 is 30. So this is about the hoisting. Um, yes, this is about the scoping and hoisting.